What's up, guys? It's Tony Butler again, and today we're going to talk about 3 tips for a SaaS company to get their content marketing program off the ground and make more sales. Sales are the lifeblood of every company. The problem is, a lot of early and middle stage SaaS companies, they've got this problem. No one knows who they are, and much of the time, no one knows what they do or understands what are the problems they solve. It's a really difficult puzzle because organic traffic doesn't exist for them. No one is searching for their solution because they don't know that it exists. I've helped a lot of companies solve the process, and I'm in the middle of solving this same exact problem for myself with Primal storytelling. Before I trademarked it, Primal story didn't exist, and no one knows what it is or how it can help them. So what do you do to get your story out into the market when no one knows who you are? So I'm going to give you 3 strategies to start to get liftoff with a content marketing program that grows sales. But before I get into it, please click like on this video, and if you haven't done so yet, follow this channel. Marketing for Humans, we're here to help you grow your business so that you can help and serve as many people as possible. So follow the channel, ask your questions in the comments. All right, so let's get right into it. So what's the one thing that every startup needs? Sales! That's right. It's not followers and likes or comments on how cool you are on LinkedIn or Facebook. The bank won't give me money for likes. There's no money there, okay? All the social media indicators, they can be helpful to help so that you can understand if a program is making progress in the right direction. But the result, the goal of a content marketing program, especially for a startup, is that they need leads. And ultimately, they've got to get new sales in the door, all right? No sales, company goes out of business. So getting leads, it's the first step in a sales process. And you have to have some at-bats, and the program that you implement, it's got to be focused on generating leads. Okay, but how do you actually do it? What's the secret sauce for a company with no name recognition? Maybe they're in a new product with a new service, and they want to start a content program that generates leads. So what do you do? So the first step, and it starts with a question. Who do we serve best? Not who can you serve, because that implies a bigger audience. But if you don't have enough leads and you're just getting started, you're going to go to a niche. You're going to go to focus on a small segment of the market. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go after them with all of your content. So step 1 of the process is you're going to define the demographics and the psychographics of who you can serve. And the mistake I see time and time again is that companies are afraid to go after a niche because they're afraid to be pigeonholed. And so what happens is they freeze up. They try to make a bland message that's for everyone. It's nonsense. At the first startup I worked at, I decided to go after financial companies. Think hedge funds, wealth management companies, investment banks. I learned everything I could about them, not just as a business, but as people. I learned where they ate lunch, where do they like to hang out, the movies they watched, where they played golf, everything. I even looked at the schools they went to, and I realized a lot of them were part of the same alumni associations. So I put together stories, I learned a lot of their FAQs and their fears, and I focused on those fears, and then what stories I could use that would help them bridge the gap and do business with us. And those were the stories that carried the day. Our company sold to all kinds of different industries. We could pretty much service everybody. But I started with financial companies. Well, so then after a while, I got successful there. And after financial companies, I added law firms. When I made a dent there, then I decided I would focus on recruiting companies and so on. And after a couple of years, I was their number 1 sales guy. I'm not brilliant. I just worked on a very small market and I had focus. So what you'll do is build a program that's just for a niche. To make it productive, so you'll work on making it productive. Then you're going to use the same structure and process to go on to the next one and then the next one. Okay, but you can't start out trying to build a message that's for everybody. It just doesn't work. Okay, the second step after you understand who you're going to serve is define what are the most important benefits that we provide that's for this niche. Okay. And what are the emotions and the primal urges that are tied to those benefits? I always start, for the most part, when I'm doing these, I'll start with fear. What are their fears of doing business with us? Obviously cost is always a consideration, but you got to go deeper than cost. You got to go deeper than just the surface of it. If you're selling to an enterprise, especially, don't look at the obvious needs of the company. You got to also dig in and look at the individuals. If they select you as a vendor and you suck, and if you can't deliver, okay, are they going to get fired? Think back to the old days of IBM. They were famous for the line, "No one ever got fired for hiring IBM." It was a safety play. It had nothing to do with their actual products or service and everything to do with the psychographics of their clientele, okay, the fear that those people had. So if you can perform and you do well for them, you're going to help them with. So the question is, if you can perform and you do well, are you going to help their status within the firm? Are they going to make more money? Are they going to get some benefits from it, personal and professional? Okay. And what are the intangible benefits that you provide to the company overall? So maybe you improve the quality of their product or service in some way. You're going to help them be more competitive, get an upper hand of the competition. Focus on the benefits. So then once you know exactly who and you're going to the target market, you deeply understand their motivated emotions and urges, then you're going to start building out the stories. And the stories are going to map to your top, middle, and bottom of your sales process, your sales funnel, okay? Of course, at the top of the funnel, those are the storylines and value themes that are bringing in new prospects, okay? You're starting to fill that funnel. And then in the middle of the funnel, those are the stories and content that help your sales team move them along in the process, okay? You're not going to answer all their questions, but you're going to focus on how you make them feel at every step of the process. And the emotions really matter, okay? Use the 4 stories: origin story, vision story, transformation story, and then of course the last one is you're going to develop a value theme and nurture them over time. The big mistake I see companies making when they develop the content strategy is they don't focus on their customers. They focus on themselves. They focus on their own message and what they want to say. Don't do it. Another mistake I see is to imagine that just because you have an engineer or an executive and they can write, they can create content, it doesn't mean they should, okay? Because it's like having a high school quarterback. He knows how to play football, he knows how to throw the ball, he can run some plays, and suddenly you throw him in the NFL, okay? You throw him in the Super Bowl. He sort of knows how to play football, but it doesn't mean he's ready, okay? You need professionals working on your stuff. It's not amateur hour. You don't have a high school kid do your company's taxes, do you? You hire a professional for that. You can't have any mistakes. So why try and execute a marketing strategy with anyone who's not a deep expert? I think marketing is the only department where anyone can claim that they know something about marketing, and even if they don't have a background and they don't have any skill or experience. I go into great detail how to create those structures, how to make up the 4 stories, okay? So some of my other videos, if you want to follow along with those, they'll help you grow your lead flow. I suggest you like this channel, follow along, look for the 4 stories, because you know what? I actually know what I'm doing. I play in the NFL every day. I'm going to help you. If you haven't already, check out candooideas.com. Okay, that's my agency website. Check out primalstorytelling.com. By the time this video is up, it'll be ready to go. I have a number of resources there to help you get started toward creating content that will help your business grow through telling your story. And of course, if your team needs any help along the lines, let us know. So until next time, this is Tony Butler. Be well.